Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. And as Emil mentioned, today we will have a chance to present you a Snowflake Alteryx Tableau ultimate workflow. But before we'll do that, I just wanted to say a few words about us, about me and Sebastian. So my name is Bart, and I'm very happy to be recognized as Alteryx Ace, the same as Emil. There is about 58 Alteryx Aces around the world out of 520,000 of Alteryx users. And Alteryx Ace is a title given to the top contributors of Alteryx community, so I'm very happy to have this title. Secondly, I'm an Alteryx user group leader, so we are organizing user group meetings similar to this since for 3 years at this moment. And as a result of our passion to Alteryx, together with Emil, we founded Tableau. Tableau is a consulting company that is Alteryx official partners. We are helping people, we are helping companies on their journey with Alteryx through training and consulting services. Last but not least, I have quite a strong experience within Agile and Scrum. I'm certified Scrum Master, and I truly believe that this is very good to have a skill that you should have when it comes to Alteryx development, workflows development. So I'm passing my voice to Sebastian at this moment. Sebastian.
Hello everyone, my name is Sebastian Shire, and it's not a secret that I'm huge Alteryx fan, Alteryx geek. So my experience is almost 8 years. I started in 2016. So during my journey, Alteryx journey, I was covering many areas. So starting with the data analyst, so Alteryx developer, now Alteryx trainer, consultant, also as a leading engineer for Alteryx server. So I established few environments. And let's say last year, I joined Emil and Bart as a user group leader for Poland. So I'm really pleased to be here and be a part of this event.
Thank you. So I just wanted to say that the use case which we aim to present was based on the experience, and our data pal team was working much in the area of reporting, of automation of reporting across various clients and various sectors. And based on that knowledge, we have seen a lot of different situations, different challenges, and we gathered all those techniques, all those best practices in one ultimate, I would say, Alteryx workflow. I think many of us see common problems within the organizations. The first one would be about that preparing data from various systems, from various sources, is very time-consuming and risky. Like everyone will agree, I believe, on this. The second point is that many people don't have enough programming expertise, so they are not starting any initiatives to automate their work. And for our use case, we wanted to present you a diagram which will visualize the goal of the project which we aim to achieve through Alteryx. Let's assume that you have like a request from management. Your boss is calling you and is telling that you need to do a project within Alteryx, for instance, and you need to accomplish those 3 project objectives. So the first one would be about creating daily sales dashboard. The management said that it can be in Tableau or Power BI, for instance. The second goal of this project, of this Alteryx project, is about creating PDF reports. Thank you. PDF reports, which could be generated by Alteryx. And last but not least, they would like to give the opportunity to run the application to business people who don't have Alteryx license. So let's imagine that Alteryx could be given to people who don't have Alteryx license, and they can run the application to get some resources. Oh, sorry. So we identified 3 stages. The first one, the sourcing. we have several sources in our data. As I mentioned, it can be very time-consuming to merge those. The first one is about the Snowflake. The second one is about PDF reading. So let's assume that on daily basis you receive 30 PDF files and you need to copy the data from those files. The third one, YXDB, I think this is very common to people who are using Alteryx. And the last one through SQL. So all the magic is done within Alteryx. Management asked us to perform this project within Alteryx. So today, this is like a very small Alteryx workflow. We'll share this later today. And in this stage, we'll share the knowledge about how we join the sources, how we perform spatial analysis, and thirdly, how we enrich the data. The third stage, which we aim to share share with you right now today, is about the output of those files from Alteryx. So how we can connect Alteryx, for instance, with Tableau and Power BI, or how we can generate PDFs. You can see the small sample of Tableau visualization over here as well. Last but not least, to those who don't know Alteryx Server, this is a very, very nice product. And I think it will be very interesting for you to see how we can refresh the workflows on a regular basis without any manual effort. I don't need to select run to refresh those dashboards. Last but not least, you have the app for business. So basically, you can use Alteryx Server and Alteryx Designer to give this application to business people without having additional costs when it comes to licenses. So right now, I'm giving the stage to Sebastian. Let's get ready to rumble. And Sebastian, continue.
So before I will jump to Alteryx inside and we will play with this data a little bit, let me, let's say, touch one topic. It's not commonly used. That's why we decided to also cover that. So in fact, I steal a few slides from data training materials. Let's discuss about standard processing. Probably you already recognize that this is standard Alteryx workflow using standard tools, even if you are connecting to databases like Snowflake, SQL, and so on. But I don't know if you already know that Alteryx offers you in database tools, in database processing, that allows you to perform the same, let's say, the same data processing, but with better performance inside database. Of course, as you can see, the database tools are quite, let's say, narrow to the number, so we can combine these two processing models with something that is called hybrid mode, when we can bring more advanced technique, more advanced tools. So what in hybrid means, so let me explain on this example. Here we have a standard process. So at the beginning, typically we are just connecting to a database and we are downloading huge amount of data to our computer. Then of course we need to perform it, so we are consuming huge resources from our machine. As it's in the daily basis, it's used, Office, MS, Outlook, connected to Teams or something like that. And another bottleneck is the speed of network, transfer speed. In database process, instead, we have totally different scenario. First of all, what we are not downloading, we are sending a small piece of information, which is only SQL code. So in fact, entire processing is done on the database side directly, using really high-speed CPU, hard disk drive, huge memory, and so on. And in fact, we can save the data inside database or download only reduced number of information to our machines. So now let's try to see it in Alteryx. So we will be using this hybrid mode, and at the beginning we'll be connecting to Snowflake. For better understanding, let's jump quickly to our Snowflake directly. So you can see on the left side that we have many tables that contain many information, and we need to build a query. We need to join this data, filter, and so on and so, building SQL code. So it's not obvious that information. Many users don't know how to build a query, they don't know what is the structure. But we can, of course, utilize Alteryx. Here, as you can see on the first container, we have 4 inputs using in-DB connect tools. So we are connecting to the Snowflake, then using the standard blending and preparation processes like joining, like changing data types, data names, removing irrelevant information using filters, doing some calculations, creating new variables, and so on, until the point that we are ready to summarize this data to the highest level, just to reduce number of information that will be downloaded to our computer. In this case, if you take a look closer, this is not correctly. Take a look closer. We have here about 1 million records in the Snowflake. When we are downloading to our computer, we are receiving only about 6,000 records, so much smaller amount of data. Below, if you take a look, we have another container, and this tool doesn't look like inDB2. In fact, here we are starting our hybrid mode.
And it is very interesting because, as you can see, currency rates, okay? So let's assume that someone from business side asks you to get the currency rates from the internet, the fresh currency rates, which could be scrubbed from the internet. So from our side, we created our own tool. As you can see, this is our Tableau tool, which were created by us. And under this one icon, there is a specific logic, which you can see right now here. Sorry for this. And as you can see under this one icon, we have a specific logic of other workflow, which is scrapping the data from internet. So whenever I click the run button, I can source the data, for instance, from this page. So we can get really fresh data regarding currency, for instance, for euro, on daily basis, on hourly basis. This is not a problem for Alteryx. And the very interesting information about this is that this tool, which you can see right now, which we created in our Tableau team, can be shared within the team. So let's assume that there is John, and John has very similar problem to this. So maybe he doesn't need to reinvent the wheel. He can use the macro which we already created.
Exactly. So also there's interesting question why we are bringing this information here, right? Because the number of data that we are processing. We have 1 million records that we need to output it to connect with standard tools like this, right? Maybe it's better to bring this 100 records to Snowflake, to temporary table, then perform everything on the Snowflake side, and just simply output it to Canvas. So once we have aggregated data, we are ready to perform our analysis. Take a look closer on the content here. We have two columns, which is lat and long, latitude and longitude, which is in fact coordinates of the location of each individual customer. It would be really great if we can calculate what is the distance to the nearest warehouse, and we can decide what should be the, let's say, the delivery price for them. Of course, we need another information. We need the same logic, latitude and longitude, for warehouses. Unfortunately, we don't have that information in pure, beautiful, structured table. We need to parse it from some different sources. We have that information in PDF report. If you take a look closer, we have a full list of warehouses for each country with addresses and with the corresponding coordinates. We can parse that information. Also, we can try to parse something which is outside the table. If any of you was working with PDF, you know that just selecting, copying, and pasting this, it will not create beautiful table, right? So we need to somehow play a little bit with that. Of course, you can retype it. It's also not a problem. It's not too many information. But what if you have dozens of PDF files to work with?
On daily basis.
On daily basis, exactly. So in this case, what we can do, we can, Alteryx is giving us again, a hand, and we can use tool palette that is called computer vision. These tools are part of Intelligence Suite. So having that tool here, we can use image template where we can load example of the PDF file. We can select part of this PDF, in which way we want to parse it. This time this will be a table, but also I want to take this small information and I will output it as a string. Then we can load everything. So I mean, provide the contact directory to a full list of our PDF. We can select if we want to download only specific format and so on. And using PDF to text process parsing part. So here, as you can see in table, we have a full list of warehouses with headers for each country, plus this additional string value. Of course, it doesn't still look good, so we need to do some parsing, or let's say restructuring. Because I'm lazy, always I'm creating a macros. In this time, I create a batch macro with 2 anchors out. One anchor is W for warehouses, where we have beautifully structured information, and R with this radius, so area covered by each warehouse. So finally, we have information from both ends. We have coordinates from customer side and from the warehouse side. So now we can play a little bit with spatial analysis.
And I have a question to you. The question interesting information. Do you remember the quiz question which we had today about Alteryx? So Alteryx started with the geospatial analysis, and Alteryx name, the company name, comes from alter, which means to transform, and YX represents longitude and latitude.
Exactly. So using this simple special analysis for this exercise is really basic. We are just using create point tool, just convert the latitude and longitude to the, let's say, point on the map. This is special object called point. So we create it from the user end, from the warehouse end. So when we have that this point, then we can calculate the distance between the tools. Of course, we are using distance tool to calculate it. Now we are calculating the distance for each warehouse inside specific country, customer country. So we have more warehouses assigned to one customer. That's why we are using sorting and sampling to select the first nearest warehouse. Having that information, it would be really great because to select the nearest, we can reduce cost of delivery. If we reduce the cost of delivery, then we can give to our client better price, or we can give him some discount because of the cost that we are saving. And finally, our data are more or less ready. We need to do some information, and we want to send it to each manager that is responsible for that specific area or specific region, but we don't have that information in our data. So we will be bringing SQL database where we have that information. We have country code, region, and we have manager that is responsible for a specific region. Just simply joining, making some additional arrangements, calculations, and so on. Finally, we are ready to output this data to Tableau or Power BI directly.
That's right. So just to sum up, at the very beginning, we presented you a slide about the goal, the sourcing stage, data preparation stage. So at this moment, we presented you the first stage, which is about sourcing. We covered as well data preparation, and we would like to tell more about the output stage. As you can see, we have 3 goals in our mind when we are creating this workflow. The first one, the first request from the management, from our boss, was about updating daily sales dashboard in Tableau and Power BI. So we use Alteryx to do this work for us as well. There are already created tools which will allow you to send, to publish the data, for instance, to Tableau server or Power BI. So in that case, we use Tableau to create the dashboard, which I'm happy to share right now. And this dashboard, this is very interesting, can be refreshed on daily basis or even each hour without any manual effort. So all the things which we discussed, PDF reading, Snowflake sourcing, all this data preparation, all this stuff can be done in automated way. And this data can be fresh and ready to use by business to make some decisions. And as you can see, as a goal, that we had as well a daily detailed PDF. So we captured this in our workflow as well.
Exactly. So in fact, when we are in our workflow in this point, it doesn't mean that we are finishing here. As you can see, there is some streams that are still going somewhere. So let me move up. And here we have another tool, interesting tool, which is reporting tools. So reporting tools will allows you to create components for the report, like map, like pie chart, or other charts, a table, text, header, footer, and so on. Using the layout tools, we can arrange these components horizontally or vertically, whatever we want. So finally, we preview this information, and when we are happy with the results, we can, of course, edit it how we would like to see it, with some information, tables, whatever. We are ready to output it. We will output that information using render tool as a PDF. As you can see, I put it in the blog until done because I want to run it in the order, in the sequence. So first I will create a PDF, then I will attach it as an email. So, sounds really good, but let me prove it that it's in fact working. I will jump in quickly to my mailbox. So as you can see here, I provide my email as a responsible manager. So each manager will receive for North America, EMEA, LATAM, and so on, reports generated immediately. We have that information as a body of the email, but also it can be easily downloaded as an attachment. So I guess it's pretty cool. And yeah, we said that this information will be delivered without our interaction, right? It will be scheduled. So what we can do, we can upload it to our Alteryx server, Alteryx gallery. So we can create a schedule. Let me show it to you. Sorry, schedule. As you can see, this is the workload we are working. It's scheduled on frequency every single day. Of course, we can modify it to run it every hour, every 5 hours, whatever we want. And we can also share that information using collection. In fact, this is
just to give you more background for those who may not know, this is Alteryx server gallery. And in this place, we can schedule the work which have been created, for instance, in Alteryx Designer on your machine.
Exactly. Let me prove it. Here we have workflow results. If I go here, I can see the full list of workflows that was scheduled, executed with the status, when it was happened, how long it took to execute it, without even our interaction. We just run it once. But also we said that we want to allow business users to download the data ad hoc, whatever they want. So with little touch of another tool palette, which is interface tool, we can create a user interface allowing them to decide what and when and which way they want to extract. Uploading this information to a gallery, and as I said, I shared that using collection. I put it to the sales results, and I shared with group managers. So each manager will be able to access it. Okay, let's open our incognito mode window, and I will access to the gallery as our sales manager.
Maria Gonzalez.
Maria Gonzalez. Maria Gonzalez is our manager. She's not Alteryx developer. She's not Alteryx expert. She don't know even what is Alteryx designer. But as you can see in my file, there is nothing. But if she go to the collection and access that collection I created and shared with her, she will be able to see that workflows. Oh yeah, this is the workflow I shared with her. So let's run it. She had to authenticate, so this is, let's say, double check that we are not sharing with someone who shouldn't see the results or shouldn't see the data. And this is the question that we created using interface tools. So she could decide to download all data, or maybe filter by country and select only specific country, or maybe she wants to send it for entire region. She's responsible for LATAM, so let's select LATAM. Also below, we provide a possibility to select if you want to output it as a PDF or Excel or send it as an email, and so on. Let's leave only PDF for now and just hit run. Now the workflow is running.
So it is running, and I have a question to you. How often do you have some questions from stakeholders about the budget? Like often the budget is problem, I would say, to have a budget to cover Alteryx license, to cover the work. And Alteryx server is a response for that. So Maria Gonzalez, the person that is running the workflow, she doesn't have Alteryx license. She doesn't need to spend some money on running those workflows. You just need the Alteryx developer and Alteryx server in place to run the reports without any additional cost. So this is just a great benefit.
Exactly. As you can see, it was quite fast to run the workflow. So if you go to the results, you can see that, first of all, the same information that we provide in an email is also selected here as a body, right? So she immediately can see, okay, Argentina, so it means that it's for Argentina, we for Brazil, and for Chile, some reports. But also we decided to download it as a PDF. So we drop down that list, there was a PDF. If you will select an Excel, it will be Excel. If we select to database or whatever, we can design whatever we want. And this is the great way that nobody will chase us to run the report for them, because they can do it on their own.
We gave them the application, and they don't need to have any programming expertise to run those processes. We presented to you a whole concept, a whole journey about how we approached this problem, what was the reason, what was the way how we created that. And I have 4 takeaways as a result of this presentation. The first takeaway which I see is about the cost reduction. You can think and you can estimate how much of effort would it take to refresh this process. If you would need to do this like manually, you would need to copy and paste the PDF data, and then you would need to get the data from Snowflake, prepare that. It would take ages. If you need to do that on the daily basis, I think it would take more than 200 hours of the monthly effort. Secondly, please see that there are 3 different outputs of this process. So the first one is the daily Tableau report or Power BI report. The second one was about the PDF files generated. And the third one, the application which we given to business people without any additional cost. And this all can be placed in one consolidated place. You don't need to have 4, 5, 6 processes to run this. You just need one Alteryx workflow, which will make the magic for you. Thirdly, this is minimizing the risk. Like if you are doing something for more than 200 hours, there is definitely a chance that someone will copy and paste not the correct value, So that's the main takeaway. And last but not least, the time which were saved through this project could be spent maybe on the data validation. Maybe we could spend this on other project opportunities. You don't need to manually maintain a process. You can fully automate that to focus on better things, on advanced analysis. So I'm very happy to be here with you, and I would be more than happy to stay in touch with all of you. If you would like to connect with us, please scan the QR code and we can connect on LinkedIn. Moreover, at this stage, I would like to take a few seconds to remind that we are going to the after party, which will take place in the same building at the ground floor, and we are very happy to host you. There will be some free drinks, I would say, alcoholic or non-alcoholic. So we are happy to have you there with us as well. Thank you.